Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. Today I wanted to talk about a couple different things. I wanted to talk about writer's block, what I do to kind of swerve those feelings, and talk about some tips and kind of what inspires me to write and things. So those of you that don't know, I've been trying to write books my entire life. I love writing dialogue. I love writing little stories, fiction, nonfiction, just everything. But something I've always really wanted to do since, I would say, first grade was write one children's book, if not a ton. And it's something that has always been in the back of my mind, something that's always been one of my goals to do, and I'm just ready to do it. But it seems my problem is I'll start writing a book and I will get so far on it, and then I'll get another idea for a different story, so I'll completely just forget about my current project and go and start working on something else. And it's a vicious cycle, it just keeps happening. But this year, I'm hoping to complete a full book and just buckle down and make myself do it. So I have a stack of books here that I picked out from my bookshelf of different books that inspire me, and I'm not going to go through all of them and read them all or anything. That would take days, that would take me forever. But I just wanted to flip through them and show you guys what inspires me and everything. Now, before I do that, I wanted to read you the table of contents in this book, and this book is called Time to Write. This was sent to me by a friend from France, and I haven't read the entire thing, but I did want to just read you the table of contents because it touches some good points, and it might help some of you out there, okay? So the first thing it says, no matter how busy you are, you can find time to write. Now there's a whole chapter on each of these points, so if you ever want to get a hold of this book and look it up, then you should definitely do it. The next one, the burning desire to write. So as an author, as writers, we have to have that burning feeling inside of us, you know? Without that spark inside, what's like, why are we even here? You know, what's the purpose of writing? We gotta have a purpose. We gotta have that thing that makes us want to write. You know what I mean? Okay, so the next one, the secret to finding time to write. Now, this is a big one for me. I don't want to admit it, but I'm a bit of a procrastinator when it comes to writing. I feel like I have to have the perfect setting, the perfect mindset, the perfect everything. It has to be the right time of day. I have to have so much ideas to even, start writing. Now, I used to not be that way. I used to just pick up a pencil, start jotting down all kinds of ideas, making bubble webs and all this stuff. And yeah, but I would say the last year or so, I've just kind of procrastinated on it. The next chapter is writing schedules that work. So I'm a list type of girl. I don't know about you guys, but I love making to-do lists and setting goals and just having that little box to check off whenever I complete a certain task. I don't know why, but it just feels more accomplishing for me. So if I were to write down on the list a certain time to write, I probably would do it more, and that's something that's going to help me a ton this year. The next chapter goes over how to get from no pages to a stack of pages, how to get there. Next one, your writing action plan. Next one, how to create time to write. The family writing balancing act. The bottomless well of inspiration. Tap into the wellness of creativity, your subconscious mind. Let's see, ways to write even when you don't feel like it. That's going to be one for me. How professional writers bust through writer's block. The Inner Critic and Other Goblins. Got Distractions is the next one. The Right Frame of Mind. Rejection Advice from the Pros. Ignite Your Burning Desire. Your Time to Write Toolbox. National Writers Organizations. Online Resources of Aspiring Writers. Sabrina Jeffries' Character Checklist, and Writers' Biographies. So that's what this entire book goes over. I wanted to just share that with you guys to give you something in case you want to pick it up from the library, if you can find it. This was sent from France again, so I don't even know if you can find this everywhere or not. But yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty nice. So let's go ahead and look at the books I pulled. So first, I just want to say the first ever book that I remember being read to me by my family when I was itty bitty was this book right here. And this is by Bill Martin Jr. and Eric Carle. This is Brown Bear, What Do You See? And I don't know if you guys ever saw this book or got read to this book, but it's just so simple and colorful, and it was my favorite book when I was, first discovering what my favorite things in life were. And I think being an adult now, trying to write something such as a children's book, it's kind of fascinating to put your mind back into the realm of what a child is going to want to read or be read to. What kind of things do kids want to see and listen to? So what I do when I need inspiration on writing my own children's books is I'll just give a little look to these colorful books that really brought happiness into my childhood and try to dig down deep and think, what about this book made my eyes open so big for it, So it's my first favorite book. This and The Hungry Caterpillar, but I liked this better. It was just so simple and just nice. So other books that inspire me, and this is my illustration side. So if I write a children's book, I want to do both parts. I want to write it and I want to draw the pictures for it too. So some of the things that inspire me to write or draw my own cartoons and pictures are the Strawberry Shortcake books, and I'm talking about the older ones. Just the style of them. Oh, and the pop-up books. This is actually a pop-up book. So just quickly gonna show you how colorful they are, and that's what really stuck out to me. Just the fluffy hats and all the little details and everything. It touched home. This is a cover as well of another older styled Strawberry Shortcake, and I just loved how all the different characters throughout these books had different hair colors and things, and that's something I think a lot of kids like in stories, especially fictional, cartoony stories, is colorful stuff. Makes a world of difference. Now I'm thinking of a black and white book, poetry book, and it was Where the Sidewalk Ends by Shel Silverstein, and that was one of my favorite books to be read to, but I never liked to look through it myself too much when I was a kid, just because it was black and white, and the colors, there was no colors in it. Now if it would have had fancy looking drawings and all this stuff, that probably would have been my number one favorite book ever, So just one more Strawberry Shortcake looking book before we move on to something else. I'm just gonna flip it open and see a random page. This is perfect. Okay, so this is a humongous root beer float, maybe a fizzy drink. Pop a scoop of ice cream into a tall glass and your favorite soda. So as a kid, seeing this type of stuff just, it makes kids excited. Now, if you're not an author, if you don't write books, if you don't want to write children's books, you know, I don't think this would touch you in the same way. But looking at this makes me feel nostalgia and happiness on a whole other level. Because it gives me so much inspiration. So, one thing that I think you have to kind of learn about yourself when you are about to start writing a book or illustrating a book is your personal style. Like, what do you enjoy about books? Do you know? You know what I mean? So, one thing that I always loved was the older stuff, like 60s and 70s style of drawings. So this is a Raggedy Ann book, and this is also a pop-up book, and I think I got this at a yard sale or a thrift shop. I'm always looking for old children's books because they really just inspire me. And I love stuff like this because I feel like it took a lot of thought. Just like this little thing here, it's a little spinny wheel, and up here is a cloud of what she's thinking, and you can turn this little wheel and make her think of different things, different foods, objects, and stuff. I don't know, it's so simple, but yet so detailed, and it's just extraordinary, really. All these little things, you know, so cool. Implementing things like this can really make your story pop out, literally, for a child, you know? So, other than pop-up books, something that drew me in about these books were that they were made of fabric. So, you know, when you usually think of a book, you're thinking paperback or hardback, and that's as simple as it gets, you know. But these books are made of cloth. So yeah, these really inspire me just because, you know, I don't see things like this every day. They feel so cool. They sound really, really cool. They're made of real cloth, and it's just different, you know. It kind of lets you know you don't have to follow all the rules when you're creating your own book, your own story. You know, you can make it any way you want. You can even do something that hasn't even been done yet. You know, it really makes you think outside the box. So here is a book that I found just last summer, and if any of you are fans of Jamie Lee Curtis, then I want to show you guys especially. She wrote this children's book, and she didn't illustrate it. It was illustrated by someone named Laura Cornell. And it says, "Today I feel silly." And the illustrations really just are incredible through this book. They're very, I don't want to say sloppy. They are very, like, almost abstract. I don't know the word for it, but very outside the lines type thing, and it's different. It's very colorful, very nice. So I had to get this book when I saw it. I got this at a yard sale. I think it was $1, and I never knew Jamie Lee Curtis wrote books, and that inspired me a lot because, you know, just because you do something in your life doesn't mean you can't also do something so amazing like this. I love this. Now, just for a second, I want to show you guys my favorite books when I started going to school. So I talked to you about Brown Bear. That was my favorite book when I was probably like 2 or 3. But my favorite books when I was in first grade were these Miss Nelson is Missing books, and there was 3 of them all together. I think they only had 3 anyways. But anyways, these are another set of books that really inspire me. Even though I'm trying to write a book aimed towards younger kids, younger than, elementary school even, these still make me think, why did I like these so much? What about these drew me in such an interested way that I still remember them to this day? Because that was when I was 7 years old, and I still vividly remember my teacher reading these to us. And I don't know, I think it was just all the characters that were put into it and the story overall. So the next thing I want to talk to you guys about, if you guys are watching this for inspiration to write your own children's book, this is such a cute thing to think about. So something that drew me in when I was younger, when I would be able to pick out a book, or when I was at the library looking through books, were itty-bitty, tiny books. And I still collect them. There's actually a whole stack right back here that I keep on my little book cabinet, of little tiny golden books, just because they make me feel happy. I don't even know, I don't even need to read them to feel happy. I just see them, and they're just so cute. So when making a children's book, I think making them tiny and really cute just makes the child want to read them more. So here's a few books that inspire me a ton. I'll start with The Busy World of Richard Scarry. If you've ever seen this cartoon, if you grew up in the 90s or early 2000s even, I think it was on, you'll remember this cartoon, and they made little tiny books of it, and the characters are itty-bitty, almost like Horton Hears a Who, like the itty-bitty world of characters. And to me, that just, oh gosh, I can't get enough of that type of stuff. So, anytime I see a Richard Scarry book, I will pick it up, because just looking through the pictures, all the different colors of sceneries and things, I love it. I just love it. So just a couple more things before I go today. I wanted to give you guys a couple tips, some things that work for me. And this is for those of you that are wanting to write a book. And this isn't just for children's books, this can be anything. So one thing that really helps me is a bubble web, because the opposite of writer's block, I feel I get this cluttered mind of too many ideas, and I do not know where to begin. I'll get so many ideas that I'm just stuck. So some of you might not know what a bubble web is, because I've mentioned it a few times to people online, and they're like, what are you talking about? So this is what a bubble web is, and it's very simple. You just make a circle like this, and you put your idea in it. So say you wanted to make an idea about like a bedtime story, okay? You'd write your main idea in the middle, bedtime story, and then what you do, you make all these lines around it, and you start thinking about all your ideas for this bedtime story. You want 3 characters in it. You want it to be, I don't know, just like anything. I'm on the spot right now, so I can't think of things. But, you want the main colors to be blue. You want it to be a rhyming story. Just all this stuff. And then having this bubble web will kind of make your thoughts more organized in a way. And again, this will work with a lot of different things, not just writing books. Bubble webs can come in handy for anything. Even if you're planning a wedding, you can do a bubble web, and I don't know, it's helped me stay organized in my life. I like a bubble web. I like a good organized bubble web, not gonna lie. So that's like my main tip, to write down your cluttered thoughts and kind of just get them put into a type of list that your brain can function with. Another thing is, if you can't really find time to go to a library or go out shopping for children's books, there is the beautiful thing called Google and YouTube. Watching children's cartoons, even just skimming through them, getting an idea of your favorite things about cartoons and what you like, can put you in a really great perspective of a child and put yourself in the mindset to start writing a children's book. Also, spending time with kids, or if there's a child in your family, spending time with them and just learning kind of what they like and what kind of things are fascinating to them. Children ask a lot of questions, like simple questions, and stuff like that can be used in children's books as well. So I'm just going to show you guys a couple more books. I got this book for Christmas this year, and this is Bumble Artie. And this was actually a book made, or I don't know if the book was made first or the skit was made first, but there's a skit in Sesame Street, and if I can find it again, I'll link it below if you want to check it out. And it's so cute, it's so simple, but the book inspires me a great deal because this was one of my favorite cartoon skits, little short skits. So it was really cool. Something that I adore about this book is this page right here that has all these different faces, all these different shapes of eyes and hair and just everything about it. So that's one thing I want to incorporate to my own children's book when I write something. I want to illustrate a ton of different faces, and I think that's what I'm going to start with. I think I'm going to draw the pictures first and then go back through and fill it in with the words, because I've tried it the other way around and it just, I don't know, I think I'm going to try it illustration first and then go back and authorize it or whatever, write it. One more thing, I'm going to show you guys a couple of my favorite cartoons turned into books. So I've always really loved Rugrats. So anytime I see Rugrats books, I'll totally get them because I love them and they inspire me. Also Powerpuff Girls. Anytime I see Powerpuff Girls books or comics, comic books are awesome to get as well. And just anything like that. Anything that inspires you, hold on to it, grab it, and hold it tight because it is going to come in handy. And when you accomplish this, I'm talking to a small group of people out there that are actually watching this because you want to create something, create a story, do something. You're gonna feel so great. And yeah, so when I complete my first children's book, I would love to share it with you guys and take you along with me on the journey. I have no idea how to get something patented or published or anything, but I'm gonna just start by drawing and writing, putting my ideas on paper, and see what happens. So, and if anything, it can just be something for me to have and to know that I did and completed. So, yes. I guess that's all for today. I hope this helped somebody out there. I hope it inspired somebody out there to take that next step in your writing career or your writing hobby or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you're having a great day. Bye.